Chapter 8. Life is a bumpy road. While he waited for the coffee to finish brewing, Matthews took his laptop to the den and began checking his email. Normally, by now, he would be sitting at his desk in City Hall, but all it took was one look out the window. Quandary was a ski town for a reason. A ton of snow fell on these streets every winter. He yawned. Even though he left the rock concert early, his daughter, Aspen, stayed until the wee hours of the morning. When it was over, she got her little 1986 Toyota Corolla stuck in a snowbank on the way back from Vail. Matthews was already in bed, half asleep, when his cell phone rang. Like a good father, he grabbed his car keys and drove along I-70 until he spotted her hazard lights flashing in the darkness. He stared at his inbox. There was already a stack of emails waiting for him. A whole slew were from city council members wanting a copy of the agenda. Johnny Tibbs, Mike Jameson, Becca Butterfield, and Taya Tordenskjold. Their monthly meeting was right around the corner, and it was going to be a doozy. Besides locking down the city budget for the new year, he was fully expecting fireworks during the open forum. A rumor was going around that Taya's husband, Sven, was planning to show up and make a formal public announcement. They owned the Quandary ski resort together, but were in the middle of an ugly divorce, and apparently they were having trouble playing nice about who got what. What was Sven going to do? Air their dirty laundry? Matthews yawned again. The emails could wait until he drank at least one cup of coffee. Maybe two. As he headed toward the kitchen, he heard the coffee maker hissing steam, and by the time he got there, the decanter was full. Aspen was sound asleep in her childhood bedroom upstairs. He was surprised she hadn't smelled the coffee yet. Even though she rented a studio apartment in town, she was too shaken up after the snowbank fiasco and wanted to feel safe, and it was nice having her back under his roof, even if for only one night. The doorbell rang. Who could that be? Going to the living room window, Matthews parted the drapes to see who had braved the roads and saw a black Cadillac Escalade parked in the driveway. He knew that vehicle. It belonged to Colorado State Senator Dana Stayne. What was she doing in Quandary this time? He put on his best fake smile and opened the door. But Dana wasn't standing there. It was her driver, Jackson Hong. Matthew's smile faltered. He glanced at the big SUV again, but couldn't see through the tinted windows. "Does she want to come inside?" he asked. Then he noticed the entire driver's side of the vehicle was dented and scratched. The bumper was crushed, too. "Looks like you got into a fender bender." Hong wore a gray, pinstriped Armani three-piece suit, which made Matthews feel seriously underdressed in his pajamas. The man did not smile or say hello, but he never did. He simply handed over a cell phone. "What's this for?" Matthews asked. But Hong did not answer the question. He walked back to the Escalade without a word, got in, and drove away. Matthews felt confused. He stared at the phone. It was a cheap, flip-style phone, the type of device that sold for $50 at 7-Eleven. Only poor people bought these things, along with a Slurpee and a bag of Funyuns. Suddenly, the phone buzzed like a bee. "Hello?" he asked. "Enjoy the concert, Seneca?" It was Dana. "I hear the rock star tore you a new bunghole." Matthews closed the front door softly, so he would not wake Aspen. The coffee would have to wait. Tree-hugging, vegan soy boy, who cares what he has to say? "College kids," Dana said. "They only care about what celebrities tell them to care about, and then, like good little sheep, they vote. Those grunge rockers are doing God's work." She paused as if weighing her next words. "I appreciate your loyalty, Seneca. You've done well." Was that a compliment? He wondered. In the halls of Congress, the other senators had a nickname for her, the Ice Queen. But they never said it to her face. Every time he spoke with her, she always lived up to that moniker. The woman was hostile, concise, ruthless, and terrifying. Matthews was never quite sure if he was in her good graces or her crosshairs. Okay, he said. You may be wondering about that $2 million I promised you last month. He was, but he certainly wasn't going to ask about it. I don't have the money, she spoke bluntly. I can't pay you. Okay, he said. $2 million. It was a ton of money, and Matthews had worked hard to earn every penny. Very hard. He'd said and done things he wished he hadn't, selling his soul to the devil in the process. But what could he say? Make demands? Threaten her? He was only a small-town mayor, trying to make a better life for himself and his daughter. Life is a bumpy road, isn't it, Seneca? Dana said. I think it's better to travel that road with friends. Friends stick together. They do each other favors. And friends have common enemies. Like your county sheriff. He's been a thorn in your side and a pain in my ass. Breck, Matthews said. I don't even know where he is. Somewhere in Nepal, Dana said. What? Matthews was stunned. I figured he was out of town, but Nepal? As in Asia? Are you sure? Oh, he booked a flight to Kathmandu, then a puddle jumper to Pokhara. From there, a minibus took him to Nayapur, where he hitched a ride to Kimchi, a tiny village in the Himalayan mountains. After that, he disappeared off my radar. More than once over the last few weeks, Matthews dropped by the sheriff's office looking for Breck, but O'Hara never said anything about Nepal. Every time he asked, all she ever told him was to take a hike. That was no surprise given the tiny role he'd played in Breck's downfall. He's gone, Seneca. He fled the country. Dana chuckled softly. The district attorney bared his fangs, and Dyer couldn't handle the pressure. You don't have to worry about the Quandary County Sheriff's Office anymore. You're welcome. You're forgetting about his deputy, O'Hara. She's just as bad as Breck. Since I can't give you that $2 million, Seneca, I did you a big favor instead. I'm not sure I follow. Haven't you heard? Dana said. The deputy had an accident last night. She was driving through the canyon in the snowstorm and lost control. What? She slid off the road and crashed into the ravine. She's dead. Dad? It was Aspen. Where's the half and half? Matthews spun around and saw his daughter rooting through the refrigerator, wearing a pair of pajamas printed with cartoon horses, an old pair from her teenage years. She must have found them in the linen closet or her old dresser in her room upstairs. He covered his cell phone with his hand to block the microphone. There's milk, he said. Use that instead. I don't want milk. I want half and half. We'll have to go to Safeway and get some, Matthews said. He gave her a warm smile, but his heart wasn't in it. It'll have to be later. I'm on the phone right now, honey. Give me a couple minutes, okay? Are you calling a tow truck? I already did. They're bringing your car here. They should be here any minute. Good, because I need wheels. I have a horse to feed, Dad. I know, but there's too much snow right now. You won't be able to make it to the ranch in your Corolla until they plow Tibbs Road, and that's the last one they do. Then let's go get breakfast. They've got coffee and half and half at the Blue Moose. Aspen. Matthews gave her a look. I'm on the phone. Slamming the refrigerator door, she set the milk carton on the counter and poured herself a cup of coffee, reluctantly adding milk. Then she spooned in some sugar, carried it to the couch, and flipped on the television. Trying to act casual, Matthews meandered down the hallway into the den. It was a dim room with dark oak wall panels, immense bookshelves, and a fireplace. before he got divorced, Matthews used to spend a lot of time hiding in the den from his then-wife, Valerie. But after they split, he hardly ever went inside anymore. There was no reason. It was gloomy, and books were pointless. No one reads books anymore. "What do you mean, Dana?" he whispered. "What have you done?" But there was no one on the other end. Their talk was over.